driven over the bridge a couple of times, but first time I'm actually this close to the water. And
when we met up with Tavares Fire Lieutenant Costin Kiefer, it was the first time he'd been back to Lake Jessup since his hunting nightmare last summer.
It's funny that we woke up and there's gators everywhere in the water too.
We first met in late August last year. Costin spoke to us from his hospital bed in Orlando.
It was not an alligator attack. It was an alligator defending itself.
Costin, along with fellow paramedic Randy Matheny and Randy's dad, were out hunting gators as they'd done dozens of times before. It was just before 5 p.m. when they found a big one.
What happens when you do something a lot of times is you get a little too confident in it, and you forget that it is a dangerous animal that you're dealing with. We got on him right away. Within minutes, we had harpoons in him, so he was still fresh. And he was just able to launch off the bottom and get in the boat and get a hold of me. And it was just a perfect storm of things that could go wrong.
In a split second, everyone reacted.
Randy's dad was actually able to grab my, my belt and just hold me in the boat, make sure I didn't get pulled in the water. And Randy was able to get a rod and put it in the gator's mouth and try to pry it open.
But it didn't work.
It wasn't until we heard the bone crush and the skin rip that I grabbed my wrist and he let go. I remember everything except for the alligator. I can't, for the life of me, picture the alligator attached to my arm, even though it was, you know, about 12 inches from my face, and I cannot picture the alligator, but everything else I remember.
The men took off to get help and ended up in someone's backyard. Soon an ambulance arrived.
I gave them the information they needed, and then I just asked them to knock me out, because at that point I was kind of done dealing with it.
When he woke up, doctors didn't hold out much hope that he'd be able to get back to work as a paramedic. But Costin was determined. He could feel his fingers, and he knew it was a good sign.
So from day one, I was like, I don't think you're right, doctor. I think I can do better than what you think.
Since August, Costin has had multiple surgeries. The most recent one made a big difference.
December 16th, they were able to transfer muscles from the bottom of my arm to the top of my arm to give me control of my wrist. Before that, my wrist was just dangling.
It was a 2-hour surgery that ended up taking more than 6 hours.
My doctor got in there and he kept at it. He kept at it until he did what was best for me.
Costin is now on light duty, but still very much a part of the Tavares Fire Department, and he is determined to keep getting better.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough to stay strong.
His wife, son, and daughter keep him going.
Life is short, you know. You never know what comes around the next corner. In my case, you know, 12-foot alligator that, you know, ripped my arm off. It could have been a lot worse. You know, I got my arm and my hand back and can still carry my kids to bed and hold their hands, and it's the little things that keep my spirit up.
Costin says his daughter was the first to ask him not to go gator hunting ever again. He says he definitely will not. His medical bills, by the way, have already topped more than $500,000. Insurance and community fundraisers have helped to cover the costs. Amy Caulfield, Fox 35 News.